let's talk about the next thing, which is human and AI collaboration. So at the heart of Rovo is the idea of human and AI collaboration, in the sense that the goal isn't simply to automate everything that we possibly can. The goal is to use AI as a force multiplier, like force multiplier. So instead of spending our time searching for information, switching between tools, or even doing repetitive administrative work, Rovo takes up some of the heavy lifting for us, and that will give us more time to do more work that requires human judgment, maybe have more creative time, have more collaboration with our teammates, and literally making decision makings. So at this junction, I would like to just buttress some things here. So the heart, we already said that the heart of Rovo is in human and AI collaboration. Let me just mention some things here that we have to know as AI users. We know that AI is a tool. It's meant to help us alleviate some of the heavy work that we do. So we should use it responsibly. So do not give AI the work that is meant for you. Don't give AI your responsibility. Keep AI knows responsibility. Okay, so there are times that actually give AI works like maybe like a particular health question. It will refer you back to your AI human and say something like, please refer back to your doctor for further diagnosis, because it knows its responsibility. So you as a human should know your responsibility. So don't give AI your responsibility. Your responsibility is to take final decisions, not AI doing that work for you. So I just want to explain that part so we know when to distinguish between our responsibility and AI's responsibility. So that is literally the heart of Rovo, to know our responsibility as AI users and to collaborate with it better. So the next thing we're talking about is Rovo platforms. There are 3 Rovo platform experiences that that build the core platform of Rovo. So this is Rovo Search, Rovo Chat, and Rovo Studio. Okay, so Rovo Search helps us to find and understand information, instead of having to go to other search engines like Google or anything. So this is actually personalized to our workspace. It's confined to our workspace, and it's confined to our workflow. So Rovo Search searches for information for us and helps us to understand that information. Okay, so Rovo Chat now uses that information to do something with it. I'm keeping it as simple as we can understand it better. So Rovo Search searches for information, Rovo Chat takes that information and then uses it to do something with it. Like it works with it, get things done. And then Rovo Studio allows us to build more customized AI experiences for specific workflows. So we'll touch on this as we move on in this session. So the next thing we'll be talking about is teamwork graph. So this is really where Rovo starts to shine. So behind all of these experiences I just mentioned, the studio, the chat, and the search, behind all of these experiences is a teamwork graph, which is what we're seeing here. It's looking like a web connection, like something like that. But I want us to think of it as a layer that helps Rovo understand the relationship between the people we work with, the work that we are involved in, and the knowledge that we all share. So instead of treating information as an isolated piece, across different tools, Rovo can connect these contexts together and then use it to provide more relevant and personalized results. Emphasis on personalized results, because I said earlier that it is integrated into our workspace, so it knows what we're working on. So whatever information that you need to search will be streamlined and personalized to your request, to your ask. Okay, so it knows a lot of things. So speaking of knowing, let's move to the next slide where we talk about what Rovo knows, where Rovo knowing everything, Rovo working everywhere, and Rovo helping everyone. These 3 things are the foundation of what we're going to be talking about today. So Rovo knows everything. Seems like an overstatement. It does actually. So Rovo knows everything, meaning that it can understand the organizational knowledge and context. So Rovo knows everything that we give it access to. So it knows as much as you would know. Okay, so Rovo works everywhere. Rovo works everywhere, so it can work across the tools and the workflow where teams already spend their time. So, and Rovo helps everyone, so everyone can access Rovo, whether you're a designer, a marketer, you're an engineer. It's accessible to everyone. So it knows everything. It knows the organizational knowledge, everything that's been discussed it knows it, okay, because it's part of the system, it's integrated into the system. Of course, it's to know everything. So, and it works everywhere. You can use it anywhere and everywhere. It can be integrated with any apps. And then Rovo helps everyone. Everyone can have access to use of Rovo. So that brings us to Rovo working everywhere, brings us to the next slide, which is talking about the 50 plus applicators, 50 apps, 50 app connectors. So this is, going through this is actually exciting for me, because the idea of knowing everything becomes especially powerful when we look at the number of places that Rovo can connect to. Rovo has more than 50 app connectors, and it allows information from tools like we can see here, Microsoft Teams, Google Drive, Figma, Dropbox, to become part of the context Rovo can work with. So all of these apps are just a few of what Rovo can connect to. We'll see some live demos as we move along. So Rovo can connect all of these 50 apps to have a seamless workflow. If you're trying to build something, maybe on Jira or on Confluence, having to connect to different apps using Rovo, if you use it on a daily basis, you understand how really exciting this is. So this is just one of the features that Rovo presents. It can connect to more than 50 apps at the same time. So the goal isn't to force everyone, to use one tool. It's to bring the context together across the tools that we already use. Okay, so let's talk about Rovo working everywhere. So this is continuing to expand as we're seeing, because Rovo is being brought into more Atlassian products and experiences. So which means that we can actually access these AI capabilities closer to where we work, to our actual work. So it's closer than we actually think. So the important takeaway here is that Rovo it's not designed as a separate destination that we have to remember to visit. It's increasingly becoming part of our workflow itself. Like every day you use it, there's always a part that will involve the use of Rovo. You can use it on Jira, Confluence, GSM, the apps that are listed out here. Every part that you see here is integrated with Rovo, and that really makes it very interesting. So the next session is across editions. So another important point here is accessibility. Rovo is no longer limited to just a particular type of Atlassian customer or even a particular role. It is available across editions. So it can support people across different functions. So whether you're in product or you're in HR, you're in finance, the opportunity for you to use Rovo and make it your own work, make your own work easier, that's the entire point of using Rovo, to expedite things, to make it faster, more efficient, less repetitive, less redundant. So that's literally it. And more importantly, anyone and everyone can use it. So it's accessible. And the editions that we have, the premium, the enterprise, and the standard, is also accessible to everyone. So the next thing we're talking about is the 3 outcomes, what we expect of Rovo. Okay, so the 3 outcomes, when you're using any AI, your goal is for it to reduce repetitive tasks. Yeah. This is what Rovo does. It automates repetitive tasks and then reduces cognitive load big time. So you don't want to have, put in a prompt or something ambiguous, and then Rovo will give you back response in an ambiguous or more complex way. That's not what we're expecting. So Rovo, when you give it maybe something ambiguous, it breaks it down for you. So it also helps to automate tasks and reduce cognitive load. Second thing is it streamlines complex processes. Like I was saying, that if you're giving Rovo an ambiguous maybe task, it breaks it down for you, streamlines it, and then gives you in a much simpler way that you can understand. Okay. The next thing is to strengthen collaboration across teams. It does this by doing the first 2 we talked about. How it does it is that if it's removing repetitive tasks, if it's streamlining, breaking down things for you, that will give more team members more time to discuss other issues. If it's removing repetitive tasks and nobody's having to deal with loads and loads of work, more team members will have time to discuss more ideas and then maybe make more judgments. So that's how we can bring people together and collaborate across teams. So we should remember these 3 foundations, okay? Automating repetitive tasks and reducing cognitive load, streamlining complex processes, and then strengthening collaboration. These are the 3 outcomes of Rovo. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at now is Rovo search. We already covered the big picture of what Rovo search. Okay, so now let's try to make it more practical. So we already looked at, we'll start at Rovo search. So because most of the challenges that we have in our day-to-day work is simply finding the information that we need. Okay, so there are so many times that we know that an information exists, but we just don't know where it is. So that could be really frustrating. So that's where Rovo search comes into play and then make things easier for us with less or even minimal friction. So the next thing we're going to talk about is enterprise search. So I'll be playing a live demo as I talk through it. So let's imagine that I missed out, I missed out on our monthly business review, and I need to quickly understand what happened. So instead of opening several documents, watching a recording, or even asking someone to, hey, catch me up on what was discussed, I can simply ask Rovo what decisions were made. So rather than going through a list of documents, Rovo will give me an answer based on the information that it found. So it's really that streamlined, really that direct, and really that simple. Okay, so speaking of that, let's go into knowledge card. What does it know? So here, Rovo will actually give me an AI-generated knowledge card with the answer and the supporting context. So it won't just give me information, it will make me understand what it's giving me. It's giving me a date when it was discussed, how they actually talked about it. So it give me more flesh to what is actually giving. It won't just give me like the skeleton, to add more flesh to the information it's giving me, so with more context. So I can immediately understand, the important points, including the key project information, the timeline, the scope, without having to manually, piece everything together for myself. So Rovo will do that for you. So the next thing, more importantly, Rovo is working from the sources that I can actually have access to. Like I said before, Rovo has as much access as you have. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is social signals. So in social signals, if I want to go deeper, I can still see the underlying search results, and this can include the Confluence page, a Google Drive presentation, or even other relevant sources. So the difference is that Rovo has actually helped me to understand why those results actually matter. And I'm not just starting from scratch. So let's go into Search Insight. Now, the search experience that I have will give me additional context, around those results. For example, I can see social signals that indicate engagement, as well as related or even embedded links. So instead of simply finding a page, Rovo can help me understand the network of information around that particular page, which brings us to our next slide, which is embedded Loom chapters. Before I move on to the Loom chapters, I want us to just look at these applications here, the list of these applications. We talked about the 50 applications that we can connect with Rovo. These are how it's going to be listed out. I can easily connect to whichever one we want, to make your workflow seamless. So these are how the app's going to be listed out to connect. So let's just move to embedded Loom chapters. And this embedded Loom chapters what this means is that Rovo can read links. Not to say much, but it just means that Rovo can read links. So especially Loom videos. So there are times that you actually need to streamline, and maybe you have like Loom videos that you need to watch. Instead of looking through the transcript, which can be really, you're looking at who said what, you might miss out some key points. You can literally put that link on Rovo chat, and it will streamline the information that you need, give you what was said, how they said it, when they said it, the particular timeline, what needs to be done from what was said. It literally gives you all the information, and to save you loads of time. It might look like maybe a small added feature, but think about all the time they're going to save, having to watch hours and hours of video to save you significant amount of time. The next thing I talk about is third-party search. So Rovo, at this point, Rovo can extend beyond Atlassian. For example, if there are relevant information that are sitting in Microsoft Teams or even another connected application, Rovo can surface that information as part of the search experience. So it will not go deeper than it should, because it has a limitation to where it can reach. Okay, so if you can't reach a particular place, Rovo will not go beyond that place. Okay, so because permissions are respected, Rovo only surfaces the information that it needs and then brings it out to you. So it won't go to where it's not authorized to. Okay, so that's really the combination of a broader context and permission aware access. So it's really important to know the difference between that. So let's go right into search with Jira. So now that Rovo Search is also part of the primary search experience with Jira, it will give you, that means to bring the same semantic understanding and improved relevance, directly inside Jira. So the understanding you have with search outside of Jira, inside of Jira, it will be improved. You enjoy it better. So the result will be, it will give a better, it will serve a better experience, and it will help us, work with information that we need without spending much time trying to figure out what said, who said what. You just give you the key points, give you the keywords to use, and you can proceed with that. So now let's move to Rovo Chat. Okay, so we already talked about Rovo Search extensively. Let's talk about Rovo Chat. So we've captured a lot of ideas in the feed story. We've now that we've seen what we already seen how Rovo Chat can work. We already talked about Rovo Search. What we know about Rovo Search right now is that it can get information for us. Now Rovo Chat uses that information to do something. Yeah, it takes the information that we got to do something significant with it. It does something with that information. Now let's look at a whiteboard scenario of how we can actually use Rovo Search in a more productive way. So I want us to imagine that, okay, this is the whiteboard scenario now. You can tell that this work looks messy. You can tell that 3 people here, Priya, Marcus, and Brian, have put in lots of ideas. They've discussed, they've written down some of their ideas, but it looks messy. Yeah, we can't dish this out to every other person in the team. We need to organize this. This is where Rovo Chat comes to play. So let's look at a quick example, a quick demo. So next, we're going to be uploading Brian, which is our product manager now. In this case now, can simply open Rovo Chat, upload a photo of the whiteboard, and ask it to organize the ideas by team and by owner. So there will not be any need to manually type out everything first, try to organize it. Rovo can literally understand the image and turn that unstructured information into something that the team can work with. So the next thing is actually organizing the ideas. You can look at it, organizing the ideas, picking it out, who said what, when did they say it, how did they say, picking out the key points that they made. So this is how to actually use Rovo Chats, in the case like where you need to organize points. So you can tell that it's taking out the information from the image and has organized it into a structured table. This is a good example of reducing cognitive load, and the human still has time to decide what to do with those ideas. And while Robo is handling the tedious part of it, they still have time to talk about other information. So let's talk about the next thing we're going to talk about is organizational memory. So Robo, like, just to buttress the point of Robo knowing everything, Robo remembers and he knows everything. So all the information that you have on your organization, Robo knows. So if you want any information regarding anything, you don't necessarily have to start from scratch. Just have to ask it what was discussed, or do you have any information on this, or have you done any of this before? You have to give it a link, talk about maybe giving it a key point, so you can look for that particular key point based on what was discussed in the past. So instead of starting over from scratch, you can just tell it from related work what has been discussed, and since it has organizational memory, it will bring it up to you. So the next we're going to talk related work. So Rovo can look through maybe connected sources and bring together relevant previous work, and that might include information from the apps that you've already connected with. That maybe Google Drive, could be maybe Figma for design, Dropbox, Confluence, or even other Atlassian tools. So the value here isn't simply that Rovo found some links. It's literally that it is connected to the sources back to where Brian is using. Like, it is connected to sources that you actually use to work. So it's not just giving you generic information. It is streamlining your personalized information, giving it to you, and more importantly, it can draft out the email and send it to your colleagues directly. So Rovo you can edit whatever it is you want to edit, and then have Rovo send it out to your colleagues, have them look at it, and it literally, like I said, it collaborates, it brings things together. So that's what Rovo does. So the next we're looking at here is Canvas. Okay, so what Canvas does is the draft opens in, when the draft is open in Canvas, which gives, our project manager here, Brian, a collaborative workspace to review and to edit the response. So this is actually part of the human and AI model, the collaboration we talked about earlier. So Rovo creates the first drafts, Then Brian, while Brian is still very much in control, he can review it, he can change it, he can decide what ultimately gets shared. So he can edit it, he can edit the chat just like we can edit any chat. So if Brian actually wants to make a change, he can simply ask Rovo to effect that change. So for example, if he asks it to maybe add a short summary to the introduction, without actually changing the rest of the email, he can do that. I'm just listing out all the things that Rovo can do so we know its capability in its full-fledged form. So it can send out emails that has already been written out to people. We can literally edit everything and have people look at it. So this is watching Rovo just do its thing, and it's really exciting. Truly, having used Rovo for some time, you really understand how much has evolved. This is really exciting. So let's talk about the skills. Let's talk about the skills. So for skills, now that we're going to take this step further. It's still repeating what's already done, but let's just take this step further. So for skills, Brian is ready to send the email, yeah, but Brian still has to approve whatever it is that Rovo has edited. He told it to edit, but Brian still has to approve it, and that is possible because Rovo can use skills to take actions. So normally, Rovo just tells us what to do, but now it has evolved to actually taking actions, not just giving us generic information. It actually does things that it has to do. So we're moving from the AI that tells us what to do and the AI that actually helps us to do it and to effect those changes. So that's literally what skills is about. And I need to talking about, that's literally what AI Robo Chat does. So we already talked about Robo Search, Robo Chat. So at this junction, skills is literally what we organize tables, do things, send emails. That is skills at work there. Okay. So at this junction, I would like to hand over to Larry to continue with Rovo Studio. Okay. Larry, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Mariah. You've really done justice to Rovo Search, Rovo, and Rovo Chat, and the overview of Rovo. So right now, we'll be going to the third platform experience of Rovo, which is Rovo Studio. So I want to involve us a bit now. So when we hear about Studio, what comes to our mind? What are the professions that come to our mind when we hear about Studio? I want to see those professions in the chat, please. So when we hear about Studio, can anyone hear me? Yeah, okay. So when we hear about Studio, what are the professions that come to our mind? What are the, okay, creatives, photography, yeah. As is, I see creatives. So creatives like what? There are so many creatives there is. So when we hear the word studio, so many professions comes to the mind. Professions like music producers, audio engineers, voiceover artists, photographers, like Kenny rightly mentioned. All of these are creatives too. Painters, sculptors, live streamers, they have their studios too where they stream. And right now, the beauty industries too, nail techs and makeup artists are now in the picture of studio. So, and one thing about all of these creatives, like as he said, is that they have everything they need to perform a specific task, to perform for the photographer, everything he needs to perform a specific shoot, or the seats, or the background, or the reflective lights. He has everything in his studio. For the sculptor, he has everything in his studio. For the music producer, he has everything in his studio. So that is what Rovo is telling us with Rovo Studio. So in the Rovo Studio, some experiences of search and chat. However, you probably want to create your own custom app to carry out specific tasks or to use within a specific team. So you want to create it yourself. And this is where Rovo Studio comes into play. So in simple terms, what is Rovo Studio? So Rovo Studio is that AI platform that is one of the Rovo platform experiences that is powered for building a workspace that unifies how we design and how we automate and create solutions across the Atlassian workspace. And one fantastic thing about Rovo Studio is that it has also evolved over time. Before, you can only use Rovo Studio to build agents with prompts. But right now, you can use Rovo Studio to build apps as well in Jira. And you might ask that, oh, is Rovo Studio for everybody? Yes, Rovo Studio is for everybody. As long as you use Atlassian tools, you can use Rovo Studio to build agents, to build automation flows if you have the right permissions, though, to the necessary workspace or the tools you want to build those automation flows in. And you can as well use to build apps. So Rovo Studio is for builders across organization, people in support, people in IT, marketing, and other functions who want to turn their expertise into real automated workflows. These are the people Rovo Studio is for. So let's quickly show a walkthrough of how Rovo works in Rovo Studio. I beg your pardon, works in building an agent. So just like Mariah rightly mentioned, when building using Rovo Studio, you have to attach skills to it. What skill do you want the agent you are building to be able to carry out? I want to create an agent that is able to create a Confluence page. I'm going to add this skill to it at the point of creation. I want to make this agent to be able to send emails, to publish Confluence page, to duplicate work, to summarize work items, to generate image. I need to add that as skills while creating my agent using the studio. As well, Rovo Studio has organization knowledge. It is well connected to your teamwork graph. So it's able to see in real time what your organization is doing, and is connected across all your Atlassian platforms. So with that, you can decide to expose the agent you are creating based on the use case. If I'm creating an agent that I just want it to be used within the HR team, and we know the HR team has some sensitive documents that shouldn't be exposed to every member of the team. Instead of exposing your agents to all organization knowledge, you have to custom the knowledge you'll be exposing your agent to, because just like Rovo Search and Rovo Chat, Studio also has the access to all your organization teamwork graph. So let's quickly see a walkthrough of how Rovo Studio works. So I decided to have a show of creating an agent. So right now, I want to create an agent that scans AI trends, announcements across the web, and identify go-to-market opportunities based on our product roadmap. So like I said earlier, Rovo Studio has the organization teamwork graph. So it has the knowledge of our product roadmap based on Confluence documentations, based on Jira work items over time and projects. So with these prompts, Rovo Studio will build me an agent that can scan AI trends and announcements across the web and identify go-to-market opportunities based on what we already have as our organization knowledge. So as you can see with our prompts, Rovo is thinking and is building for me. So after a while, once I click C-Plan will show me the information I need to see in real time about the agent that is being built. And if I ask it to go ahead, it tells me creating agents, finalizing agents, and in no time, I have my agent up and running. So as we can see in these agents, we can add specific, so this is, for those of us that build, this is more like the back end of this agent. So this is where you can edit the behavior of this agent the way you want the output to be structured, the skills you want these agents to be able to, the actions you want these agents to be able to perform, and that's the skills, the knowledge you want these agents to be exposed to, because that's the way AI works. AI doesn't just work on its own. It works based on data that is being fed into it. And whenever it is being prompted, it goes into this data, fetch the information you need based on your prompts, and gives a response. So I give the knowledge I want these agents to be exposed to, the behavior. As you can see, one of the skills is that after going through our organization product roadmap, also search the web for recent AI trends. So with all of that, my agent is live. I can decide to add skills. One beautiful thing about Rovo Studio is that it does not just integrate with apps within the Atlassian ecosystem, like Mariah earlier, just like this search and chat too. It helps you integrate across third-party platforms like Figma, Box, Asana, Cloudflare, and even third-party CRM tools like HubSpot and other service management tools like ServiceNow and the likes. So after generate these recent AI trends, I want it to as well be able to get users from our HubSpot platform and to be able to search our HubSpot platform so that after generating these AI trends, I want it to send it across the team in Microsoft Team. And with that, I add these skills. Then I decide to go ahead as well and test the agents. So testing the agents will bring me to this interface where I can prompt the agents. As you can see, this part is the description of the agents. The description of this agent is that it empowers your sales, marketing, and product team, uncover valuable market intelligence grounded in your customers and roadmap. This is exactly what I wanted it to do. Go to market insights. So with this prompt, and you have prompt starters, maybe someone wants to use the agent you just created, doesn't really know what prompts to type. With the suggested prompt starters, they can start somewhere, click on any prompt, and the follow-up prompt till they get their desired results. So this interface makes you to test your agent before publishing and making it go live. Then, as you can see, this agent is bringing out a response based on the behavior, the skills, the knowledge it has, and also web search. So we have all of these AI trends and the likes. Then another powerful thing about that Studio can do is that Studio can be used to add triggers to automations. So now that I've created these agents, it's not that I just want people to always come into the agent to start prompting. No. I want that all of these insights are generated, then every process automated. When these insights are generated, I want it uploaded into a Confluence page, and after uploading into a Confluence page, I want it sent across to the team every Monday morning so that, oh, the team sees what's happened the last weekend, and this would give the team better insights of what to work with this week, of the go-to market opportunities to better strategize in our business. So Rovo Studio can help also be an automation trigger to perform this. So I click on trigger pretty much, then tell it that every 9 a.m. identify this roadmap, create Confluence page. As you can see, use this Rovo agent, create Confluence page, and all of this is sent across to the team in real time. So as you can see this flow, sorry, it's taking me to the next slide. So seeing this flow, it's pretty much generate all of this, publish the Confluence page, and send to the entire team in real life. So this is one of the good and great power of Rovo Studio and in agents building. Another important thing Rovo Studio can do is that Rovo Studio can be used to build apps. Before now, Atlassian developers, we use the Atlassian developer to Forge to build app. Now apps can be built on Rovo Studio with just prompts. And what are Rovo Studio apps? In Rovo Studio, apps are just custom solutions that extend the features and functions of Atlassian app, features and functions of Jira, extend the features and functions of Confluence. And there are various apps that can be built on Rovo Studio. So on Rovo Studio, you can build custom forms that collect the right information from users and validation conditional logics, and integrations, Confluence, and Jira. With Rovo Studio, you can also build apps that are dashboards. Maybe you want to see the data you have in your Jira environment in real time, like a visualization dashboard, like a chart, like a table, like metrics on work items that has been worked on based on resolution. Okay, how many work items in the past months do we have resolved? How many do we have in progress? How many do we have escalated? And all of those things. So Rovo Studio can be pretty much used to build a dashboard to display data from your Atlassian apps in real time. It can also be used to build approval workflows app that helps you route requests through multi-step approval. So instead of people raising requests and you are manually approving over time, why not just use Rovo Studio to build an app that helps you automate all of this, look at people's requests, look at their asks, and helps you route the request to the right authority in real time. Then it helps build internal tools to create specialized interfaces for common tasks, such as employee onboarding for the HR team. It as well helps to create, you can use Rovo Studio to create apps for data entry interface, build streamlined screens for updating Jira work items, Confluence content, or custom data. So let's also have a show through of how Rovo Studio can be used to build an app. So like Mariah was saying earlier, Brian and other colleagues at the brainstorming session, they had like a draft, uploaded it to RovoChat. RovoChat turned it into a structured data and all of those things. Now, the app they brainstormed on, the Strawberry AI app, they decided to create a project for the development team or the developers to track progress over time. Now, I decided that, oh, okay, as one of the members of the developer team, are we ready to launch this app? Okay, based on what we have so far, the progress we've made so far, Brian, let's create a dashboard that already has the knowledge of what we've done so far on this app to show, oh, if you are ready to launch our Strawberry AI app. So with Rovo Studio, I can perform all of this. So this shows how Rovo Studio is so powerful to help create and streamline all of this. You might ask, how do you even get to see or get to access Rovo Studio? So let me quickly show us how to navigate and get Rovo Studio in our Atlassian ecosystem. So we have the Atlassian app switcher. Once you come to the Atlassian homepage, so we have the Atlassian app switcher where you can navigate between apps. And when you click on more apps, you see the Rovo Studio here. And once I click on that, it brings me to the landing page of the Rovo Studio. So those are slide demos. I just want to quickly show us a show through of few live demos of how powerful Rovo Studio can be and how we can use it to create custom apps and custom agents for specific use cases. So let's assume a project manager that manages projects across the IT teams, and the IT teams drop updates in a Slack channel every week on the progress made on that specific app. So once I click on create, as you can see, you have apps, you have agents, and you have automation. Now I want to create an agent. I want to create an agent that helps me summarize weekly updates from Slack and upload into a Confluence page. Once I input my prompt here in the studio and I run it, Rovo Studio gets to work. As you can see, thinking, designing solution, and it's already telling me that it's helped me create and build a solution that summarizes weekly updates and publish them to Confluence page. So it's going to gather the necessary information that I need to be this particular agent. And in real time, I have an agent up and running that helps me perform all of these functionalities. So, however, I can still tell it how it should behave. we still give it the knowledge it will be exposed to and various nuances to how I want the output to be structured. So you have to hold on. This takes a while this builds up. This is the power of Rovo all in one. So I think we can all call Rovo the all-in-one in the Atlassian ecosystem. Once I'm comfortable with all of these descriptions, instructions, and I click on build agents, so this gives me details to the agent I just created. So before I publish, I just need to see what I have built. So I click on test. So I have conversation status that I can use, but if I'm not comfortable with all of this, I can still edit all of this here. So I add skills to this agent. If I want to add skills within the Atlassian app, this is Jira, Confluence, GSM, Assets, Bitbucket, and the likes. And if it's third party too, so I want this agent to be able to Slack. I want it to be able to get message. I want it to be able to search in real time. So you can see that based on my prompts, it's already selected the required skills for me that it will need to perform the needed actions it has been assigned to perform. So this agent already selected the skills I need to use. So if I want to custom the knowledge this agent will be exposed to, I can create a custom knowledge. Maybe I have Confluence page documented. So this knowledge, pretty much the brain this agent is going to work with. Click on all of that. And if I want this agent to also be able to perform web search, I toggle this on. And whenever this agent is being prompted, after going into all of the organizational knowledge you've exposed this agent to, this agent still goes to the web and makes the search to give you the best results possible. I can as well tweak all of these conversation starters if it's something I do not want. And after I'm comfortable with everything I have, I click on publish, and I have my agent live. So as you can see, publish, this agent now is live. I can prompt it here, or I click on test to get to prompt it here. And if I want a full screen, I click on this, and this gives me a full screen to be able to use my agent, which is already up and running. So also in creating an app within Jira, maybe I want to create a dashboard that shows if you are ready to launch the Strawberry AI app that Brian and the other colleagues worked on. So I put my prompt here. So just with your prompt, Studio can derive, if you want to create an agent or you want to create an app. So with this, I click on create Jira dashboard to show all tasks assigned to me and their various resolution states. So click on that, and Rovo Studio is creating an app for me that will be ready in real time and have dashboard display of all tasks assigned to me and their various resolution states. So pretty much, these are the power of Rovo and the platform experience studio. So back to other things Rovo Studio can help us perform. So this was the AI readiness. Please, okay, can you still see my screen? Okay, so this is the AI readiness, just like Rovo Chat and Search 2. Studio is so powerful, and it sits between a lot of things. It sits within a lot of things, I beg your pardon. Agent triggers, evaluation, vibe code custom map, like I just did. You can use it to create agents, advanced orchestrations into third-party tools like Google Drive, third-party CRMs, Box, and all sort of. So Rovo Studio is really powerful that it helps navigate the blank spaces. You can as well use it for control and governance. You can expose it to the knowledge you want to expose it to. Bring people you want to collaborate with you on particular agents. If I want that an agent I created, someone can also edit that agent, I can do that using Rovo Studio. If I just want someone to be a collaborator, to be able to use just the agent, I can do that using Rovo Studio. So pretty much, Rovo Studio can help us do a lot of things, which is like the third pillar of Rovo, strengthen collaboration across team, search, chat, and studio. So with Rovo Studio, we can be able to strengthen collaboration among teams. So I think with these few demos, we all going to be leaving this session as Robo experts. So thank you very much. I'll be handing over now to Luis. And we'll welcome questions and feedbacks too. Luis, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ari. Okay, so let me ask you the questions on site. I will just compile them and then write them out for you.
Okay.
So my others online can ask that question for now. All right. Okay, I have one question on site. Are you with me?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
So the question is, you said a Robo Studio, you can use that to build apps, right?
Yes.
So is asking if that can be done entirely in the studio, or you need to connect it to maybe an external source or something else. So maybe you do that.
It can be done entirely in the studio. So,
Right.
however, if you want this app to be able to perform advanced feature, like make API calls to external tools, you would have to use the Atlassian developer tool, which is Forge, to build that. However, with just prompts in Studio, you can use Studio to build an app within Jira.
All right. Thank you for that. So for those online, do you have questions? If you have questions, you can type them or just unmute and can ask the speakers from what I've been shared so far.
Um, Thank you everyone for joining once again. Now we want to go to the second section of this workshop. So now we've talked about Rovocon, how we can use it in our day-to-day activity. Rovo can help teams collaborate better and all of that. Now we deeply want to talk about AI in itself generally, because despite the fact that it is one of the most talked about topic right now in the digital world, even outside the digital world, there are still some nuances to it. There are still some questions. There are still some hesitations. Should we accept this? Should we not accept? And this is what we have as well come here to discuss. That right now that we've told you the power of using Rovo within the Atlassian ecosystem, there might still be some people trying to ask, okay, they said Rovo can do this, they said Rovo can do that, they said we can use AI to do this, we can use AI to do that. Where exactly are we starting? How are we going to approach all of this? What should be our source of truth, even if we are going to approach it? So all of these questions we are going to be answered in the next couple of minutes. And please, this section is going to be very, very interactive. So I want us now to be very close to our chat, because I'll be looking into the chat for responses. So to better dive deep into this, so these are questions people are usually asking. What's the real workflow behind this pain point? Where are we consistently repeating ourselves? What is our trusted source of truth? So all of this, we are going to be explaining or talking about within the next few minutes before us. So it is said that AI is designed for teamwork. So however, how do we lay the foundation for AI? Laying the foundation for AI, 70% of the knowledge workers say they'd use AI at work more if it could access the right data and information. So this talks about data readiness for AI use case. And according to Atlassian research too, knowledge workers who have seen their managers model AI are 4 times more likely to consistently experiment with AI. So that brings us to the 3 discussion topics we'll be having right now, which is strategy, orders, how we AI, and the impact. Is AI truly making the difference? How are we integrating AI into our teamwork? What is holding our team back from fully embracing AI? Then how do you personally use AI to be more creative, to be more productive, to be more effective? Is AI making your work better, or is AI gently replacing you without you knowing? And how do you know if AI is truly making the difference? So let's dive deep into this. So how are you building and developing your AI strategy? So I want us to put in the chat, what are some of the things we use AI for in our day-to-day activities? What are some of the things we carry out on our jobs from day to day that we use AI for? I'm looking into the chat. So what are some of those things? Identify your opportunities. The use cases, how are we prioritizing what we can use AI for? Okay, simplify tasks. What specific tasks? There are tasks can be writing meeting notes, tasks can be generating leads, tasks can be writing code, tasks can be pretty much a lot of things. Okay, Kenny said he uses AI for quick research, and he said to simplify tasks, research ideas. Moses, okay, sound ideas. Thelma, let's bring it on. So one thing I would like for us to take away after this webinar, or to build workflows and automation, yeah, from Mr. Wiley. So one thing we would want us to take away after this webinar is, are we adopting AI the right way? One, is AI making me better? Two, then with my AI adoption, am I building trust as an employee? Am I building trust with clients and customers as an employee? One thing about me, if I were to identify opportunities within a business or an organization for AI adoption, the question responses I would want answers to is, okay, if we adopt AI, will business values and alignment will it be better with our organization goals? Will frequency and severity of our underlying problems be reduced? Availability and quality of our required data, will it be better? Will technical visibility and integration complexity, how are we going to be approaching that with our adoption? The risks, the security and governance requirements around AI, can we manage it within our teams? So all of these would answer in real time. So will AI ease the running of our with focus proof of concept? So now, within probably a small bracket of team, AI has been adopted. Other things are still holding back. Oh, with the metrics proven from the team that adopted AI, do they now have better productivity over teams that decided not to adopt AI? And what is the potential to scale beyond the present use case of our AI? So these are some of the questions we need to answer in adopting AI. How we are identifying opportunities in our AI adoption. So, and then are we also building executive sponsorship? One misconception people have about AI adoption is if we adopt the best AI model, the strongest AI model, then we are good to go. However, this is not entirely correct. For me, I would not lead the model types, the prompts, the technical features. I would explain what are the operational problems and how AI is going to tackle it. What are we spending on now? And that if we adopt AI, how will AI help reduce this cost and leaving unresolved issues or issues that takes longer time to be resolved in real time and shorter times? So what is the expected benefits of AI? What are the controls required? So are we building, these are some of the questions I would be answering with building executive sponsorship. What decisions or investment is needed from the leadership? So like I said before, it is said that it is most likely that other people within the team, they are 4 times most likely to adopt the use of AI when they see people above them, the executive, their team lead, their supervisors adopting AI. So if my team does not want to adopt AI, what investment do we have to put into the leadership for the entire team to adopt AI? And also, if we adopt AI, are we creating the right culture for proof of concept to work and psychological safety? Are we creating the safe space where AI can thrive? There are some employees that are intentionally holding back to the use of AI because they think their work will be critic that, oh, this output looks AI. So are we creating a safe environment for AI, saturated enough to produce useful learning? Are we transparent about limitations? Like my colleague said at the beginning of our session, she said, you don't give AI everything. So there are limitations. Like in the health sector, once you tell AI some of the symptoms you are experiencing, AI will still refer to an expert because there are limitations too. So are you creating the right culture with your adoption? Is your AI supported by clear data and security boundaries? Are you being data protected? Are you using AI the right way? The ethics around AI, the practice around AI, are you using it the right way, or you just expose all of your organization knowledge, all of your organization data without restriction to AI? Are you focused on improving work rather than replacing people? This is one of the so many questions in the minds of so many. And it has been said that AI will not replace people, but those that refuse to use AI will be replaced. AI now is being used in almost all facets. Is it industry? Is it in the ICT development or software development, DevOps, cloud computing, and all the likes, project writing, research, and all of this? So AI is used in all of this. So are you focused on improving your work rather than employing people as an executive, as supervisor? Are you focused on improving people's productivity, people's output, rather than replacing them? So these are some of the these are some of the questions we need to have answers to on how we are building and developing AI strategy. So, and all of these questions we've been able to ask, how can we overcome all of these hurdles? So we have 3 hurdles here: the data readiness and trust. So is AI thriving with the right data? AI is only reliable as the environment around it. If you do not give your AI the right data, you are not getting the desired output. So Is your AI having the reliable environment to work with? We've talked so much about Rovo, and for Rovo to create useful results, the information needs to be accurate and current. So you want an information about the policy statements of your organization, but it has not been reviewed over the last 5 years. So you definitely are not getting an accurate information, because this policy document that the AI is exposed to as a knowledge has not been reviewed over time. So is it structured and consistently labeled? Is it accessible to the right people? You have your engineering team or teams that want to collaborate better, and wants to create custom AI agents. Do they have the right tool or knowledge or structured and labeled data that the AI will be exposed to for the team to work better? Is it accessible to the right people? Is it stored in a system where the content is preserved? There are systems or platforms that the documentations on them are not well preserved. And this is where, in the Atlassian ecosystem, all of these tools that we need for your teams to collaborate better already exist. So this is where Confluence comes into play, where you can create a company hub where all of your data are well preserved. So is it governed accordingly to the sensitive and business rules? And is it connected across relevant workflows rather than scattered across silos? You have your documentation on Confluence, you have something else in Jira, you have maybe something else on Slack. So is your data connected across relevant workflows, or are these just scattered around? Another thing answered we are answering to with AI adoption is change at scale. When a small fraction has accepted AI, a sensible maturity model, it assists with your day-to-day activity, it recommends and suggests actions, it acts with approval, it acts with the necessary guardrails. So when you are changing at scale means, are you choosing deployment over adoption? Do you just want to deploy? Are you concerned if your team is going to use what is going to be deployed? And this is where change management comes into play. Change management is not communicated at the end, is not treated at the end of the execution. Change management is supposed to be involved while during the execution of the project. It needs to be part of the product and operating model from the beginning. So, because when you are changing at scale, different teams will experience AI differently. The executive wants measurable value and risk control. The managers want visibility and consistency. The practitioner wants less repetitive work. The administrator wants governance and supportability. So different people want AI. The risk and compliance teams want evidence and control, whereas employees, they are worrying about surveillance, their job security, or being judged by AI-generated metrics. So this is where the crossing of the order of change at scale comes into play. So especially in the academic research space, AI outputs are still being critical. So you want to create, you are in the academic space and you want your team to adopt the AI model. And you know very well that in the academic space right now, AI outputs are still very much being critical, and you decided to deploy at a very large scale. It might not be accepted by your team because the team members, the researchers, they are worrying that they are being judged by AI-generated metrics. So how are we going to overcome some of these big orders? And one way to overcome that is that successful rollout is by feedbacks and assessments. You don't just roll things out. You don't just create something and give it out there. You deploy in installments, maybe a fraction of a team, call them a pilot team, which would use as your implementation or your first users, and over time you scale. So this is one of the ways to overcome the hurdle, changing our skill. And another hurdle is the unknown and the unknowns. There are some things that work well on paper. There are some ideas that work well on paper. Someone said your idea is a trash, but the real test comes to play during execution. And one of the very good way to execute is the ability to be able to be flexible enough to alter strategy at the point of execution. You might already have all of your designs of paper. Oh, this is how we want to go about it. This is how our integration edge case would work and all of that. But then at the point of execution, certain things surface. You have to just be flexible enough that at point of execution, you can alter some of these things to suit the team entirely. The end goal is that everybody embraces what you are trying to put out there. So now let's go to another part of this, the strategy we are using in AI adoption. How are you driving innovation with your adoption? So like I've been saying before, it starts from the grassroots to the top. You don't just you don't just put it for all of your organizations to accept in real time, decide how to guide. So that brings, define the current process and its biggest source of friction, who is affected and how often problem occurs, what better would look like, small set of measurable outcome and early signals. All of this, where to start, how we will learn at that or stop if the approach is not working. So these are ways you can overcome all of these hurdles we mentioned back there by adopting AI, the innovation around it, and driving adoption. This now takes us to the last, the impact of AI. For the impact of AI, is not everything is number. So sometimes some AI cases are difficult and are not measurable directly by metrics, particularly those involving knowledge work, creativity, collaboration, or decision support. In these cases, it is best to avoid forcing it on artificial financial metrics or relationship into uncertainties. And instead of this, look for evidence from several sources. Look for evidence from several sources. For example, people finding information more quickly. Like the search now, you can search for people in the administrative department. The search is a very good use case. So are people finding information more quickly? Are decisions being made with better questions? Are team asking better questions? Is work becoming more consistent? So not everything is number. Are people spending less time on repetitive presentation? Do users feel more confident or less overwhelmed? Are problems being identified earlier? So these are some of the ways to supercharge your day-to-day adoption of AI. And again, are you communicating value? Are you communicating value? When championing your AI initiative, try to communicate value in the language of the audience. We have so many people here. Not everybody is in the technical aspect of software. Some are in the HR department. Some are in the administrative role. Some are executive. Some are in the operations. Some are in the IT. Some are in the service management. So, and all of that. So when you are trying to push AI adoption to people, are you communicating value? And this is one of the ways it will help them decide if they are going to adopt what you are giving to them. Engineers may care about reliability, automation, and reduce rework. Leaders may focus on operational efficiency, risks, scalability, and customers' outcomes. While end users themselves usually want to know whether the tool will make their work easier without creating additional risks. So value is communicated more effectively through clear before and after story. So what were we doing differently before? If we adopt AI now, what are we going to do differently? How is it going to impact our business better? How is it going to help us generate better revenue? How is it going to make us better productive? Right now in the DevOps space, if you don't know how to use AI, adopt AI into your space, you are just going to be sidelined, because CI/CD pipeline that should probably take you weeks or months to deploy will take you just few days with AI. So all of these, what is the before story? What's then after story? These are ways you can communicate value to help people better adopt AI and tell them the impact it will have on their workflow if they eventually adopt it. So this was the problem we had before. Right now, this is the solution we provide with AI, and this is the value we are getting in return. So before, maybe you work in the inventory where you take stock of what you have in the warehouse. But right now, with AI, you've been able to automate the workflow that whenever the warehouse is being stocked, you just input the number of items being stocked in the warehouse in your automation. And as each item is being taken out of the warehouse, there is an automation monitoring all of this. And in real time, you probably put a guardrail or a metric that, oh, once we have this so number left, you alert me. So in no time, you can be alerted when stocks is dropping, and you can restock in no time. So with AI, you communicating value would help better, will help team want to adopt AI better. So this is how the team handled it previously. So maybe before, they were prone to human error based on carrying out repetitive tasks every now and then. But now when things has been automated, when there is something better to work with AI adoption, now the team handled it better. So then this is what AI has changed. Then these are the results and lesson learned. So you document all of this and put into writing so that when you are communicating value, people know the impact of whatever it is you are giving to them does in real time. AI strategy is an evolving operating model rather than just a one-time document. So over time, the way AI is seen right now is not the way it was seen years ago. Is not the way it was even seen last month. So it's an evolving operating model. It is ideal to develop through the continuous cycle. So one thing I would want us to go away with after this session is that AI adoption should be a continuous cycle within organizations, personally, within businesses. It should be a continuous cycle. And how this continuous cycle, I've decided to put them down under 7 bullet points. And the number one is discover. So discover, map workflows, and identify pain points. What are the pain points of businesses? How can AI better help business owner create value, handle their business better, generate revenues better, make sales better? How can AI help our teams collaborate better? So map workflows and identify pain points. And this is where discover comes to play. Then prioritize. We've been saying so many things AI can do, since how we can use AI to have better output, be more productive, and all of this. So, however, when you're adopting AI, you don't just dabble into everything AI can do in real time, because there will be too many options paralysis. So there is something we call too many possibility paralysis. So start with one use and then scale over time. So access, values, visibility, and readiness. Are you ready to adopt now? All of these it would come under the prioritizing stage of AI adoption. Then experiments. Run focus proofs of concepts with real users. So you want to adopt AI for your business, you want to adopt AI for your team, experiment with a particular team, make them the pivot team. and make sure your implementation is with real users and not just mere test users. So, and after experimenting, it brings me to the fourth point. You evaluate your experiments. So evaluate your experiments, combine your adoption data, quality measures, users' feedbacks, and business outcomes. So based on what you've experimented so far, what are the outcomes? Do you now do things better? Do you now have little times in incident management? What is your time to resolutions? In your incident management, what is your mean time to resolve? So all of this comes under the evaluation. And after you've evaluated and you saw that, oh, this is impacting us, now it comes to the governance aspect. So a good AI ethics is established under security with good data, human reviews, and accountability controls. So who is in charge of reviewing our AI while we use AI? Who is in charge of how the team uses AI to collaborate? Do we just expose all of our data to the team, both those that should know and shouldn't know about certain things? Do we just expose personal information across teams? So this is where governance come into play. And after all of this is put into consideration, then you scale. Now that our team has adopted, we now do things better. Okay, in this area, we are now better. Oh, which area again can we do better? Then scale into this area, expand proven use cases, and retire those that do not create sufficient value. So you've evaluated, you've seen what works and did not work. So you scale what works and you leave what does not work. And after all of this scaling, the seventh point is share, document lessons learned, and make successful patterns reusable. So in this area, this is the lesson we've learned. After scaling, this is the lesson we've learned. After experimenting, after evaluating, this is the lesson we've learned. In content generation, in leads generation, this is the lesson we've learned. We won't repeat the same mistake while trying to adopt AI in other areas. So the long-term aim is not to deploy the largest number of AI tools. No, that's not the long-term aim. It is to build trusted, connected AI capabilities and simplify work, integrate with existing systems and reliability support, better decision-making across teams and across organizations and across businesses. And this brings me to a small story of that happened in the 19th century about the Luddites. So in the 19th century, there were people that work in the textile industry, the UK, which they use the manual machine. And these people work in large textile using the manual machines. However, over time, there came an automated machine. So with the manual machine, maybe they make a particular product. It takes days to make a particular product. But then when the automated machine came into play, this same product that they made within days can be made under hours. And the amount of products that will be produced by maybe 10 users, under less hours, 5 users can produce it, even with less time and less days and less effort. So, and instead of this Luddites, so the Luddites was now a moved by someone called Ned Ludd. So the Ned Ludd was angry that, the automated machine was taking their jobs. The automated tester machine was taking the jobs of those that uses the manual textile machine. So he made a move where they go in the night to raid and smash the automated machine. Instead of them to key into the new automated machine, learn how to use it, be better productive with it, and even make more with it. But they decided to want to stick with the old way of working, yet not entirely productive, takes longer time to be productive, takes more manual effort. So instead of all this, they were attacking the automated machine. So which brings the word Luddites, because this move was made by Ned Ludd. So do not let us be a light. let us look at ways we can better use AI in our day-to-day activities, in our day-to-day work, to amplify us, to supercharge us. And this would bring me to a point where I will leave us with this. Start with the workflow, prove the value, build the trust, and scale responsibly. Start with a pain point. Start with what works, where you're wasting time, where you're repeating effort, where you happen to manual or human errors. So start with that. Then over time, build trust. Oh, this is what I now do better. This is what I did before. This is now how I approach things and do better and scale responsibly. So I think after this, we can now, after all that has been said here, we can be a better AI adopters, and AI would make a better impact in how we carry out our day-to-day activities. Thank you very much for your time. Over to you, Luis.
All right, thank you so much, Ora and Dari. It was a great session. All right, so do we have questions for those online? Let me also take a minute to ask those on site if there's any question. So those online, if you have questions, you can ask them right away. Yes. All right, so we don't have questions from anyone on site. Yeah, so I think let's see our next, let me share my screen for a second. And okay, so yeah, so if we look at our agenda now, we are here. So I want to talk about our next event. So let me, for those of us that are here, let me just talk about it because I will need maybe your inputs. Okay, so let me show you the events. Okay, coming. I will do that in new tab. Let me go back. So, okay. Yeah, so for those on site and those online, I know for those who are willing to try the Rovo Fundamentals, that will come right after what we're talking about now. And then, so we can use time to set up if we've not set up. And remember, it's not compulsory, it's optional, right? It's a free exam, so it's optional. For those who register much earlier, you must have been prepared. If you're not prepared, you can still set up your profile today and then take the exam after, now maybe within the week, but it's 7 days. And there's also a free retake available. So I want us to talk about our next event for now, right? And now this is our next event, knowledge management for non-profit. So the idea is, Atlassian during 26 this year, they announced the Atlassian for non-profit, right? And what it entails is, let me see if I can open that up. Sorry. Wait. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So what it entails is that Atlassian has a plan for non-profits. Now, it's not just non-profits, right? It's both for non-profits and for social ventures. For one, as long as you are able to get verified as a non-profit or the social ventures will qualify still, the requirement you have to meet up, which you will know more, maybe during events, we'll talk more about that. And then, if so, what I want to share with people now is, if you know a non-profit who you feel, now charity organizations, NGOs, who you feel are going to benefit from this, you can send me their details and I'll invite them because those are the targets audience for the events. Of course, they're all invited, right? But then our main target is reaching out to those people who actually need the services. And if you also have a non-profit and you're qualified, why not? You can also apply for it after the events, right? So now the idea is Atlassian has 25 states for the teamwork collection, which has Jira, Confluence, Bitget, and which has Jira, Confluence, Loom, and Rovo, right? Now they're going to give this free to NGOs and social ventures who meet that criteria. Now that the only thing is that you can't have more than 25 users at once, right? And it's an annual license. Also comes with plugins included. If at the end of the year you have maybe 26 users, now they non charge you at a discounted price, right? But as long as your users on your instance is 25 users and below, you are going to get free. So if for 5 years you have under 25 users, it means for 5 years you're going to enjoy using the services for free. So you have 25 licenses to use. So for next event now to do knowledge management for non-profits, we have 2 workshops actually. One is knowledge management and the second one is project management. So I think we'll start with this one first, and then if the response is good from non-profits who are interested, we can do the second workshop, which is project management. Or maybe before then, if I reach out to them and I see that, okay, they're willing to maybe stay a while because it's going to maybe 1 hour plus 90 minutes session. I'm going to stay a while, then we can decide to have both sessions in maybe 1 day. We'll do both the knowledge management and then both the project management. But we're starting with this one for our chapter. So that I'm just calling that to you so that you can look around and if you identify those category of people, non-profit or social ventures who you think are going to benefit, you can share their emails with me and I'll reach out to them to invite them and tell them more about the events because they're going to be target audience actually. You can also come that day to learn 1 or 2 things. Of course, we're still going to talk about Confluence and Jira, right? Which are the 2 tools we're going to look at majorly. And then, but the target audience are non-profits. So if you are one or you know somebody, you can also invite the person. So I'm sharing now so you can help him. If you know someone within your locality or vicinity, you can send our details and I'll reach out to them if they're interested to join the session. Yeah, so that is just the main thing I wanted to point out for this. For our next event for next month, you can actually check it out and then register. And then you can also visit this link to learn more about it. Let me share this link for you on the call chat. For those who are on site, you also get maybe during the event with I can share it with you as well if you're already in our group, and that's the link there. Right, so you can read more about it, and then if you know people who benefit, reach out to them. At least I'm sure it's something people would love to enjoy because it's free, 25 seats, annual licenses, and also come with plugins included. All right, so that will be it. So the next thing now is going to be we talking about now going back to our event, and that is it's going to okay now this session now we're going to combine it for those who want to stop now. I know some people came late after we started, right? So between now and 1 p.m. we can use this time to set up our certification profiles for those who are interested. Now for those on site, I will be able to do that with them, and for those who are I think Maria and Dari might help me to do that. So if there's anyone who is interested in doing that, we just guide them through. Now I know some people will say they're not prepared, right? If you're not prepared for the exam, just create your profile, set up on metrics, and then you can write your exam within 7 days, right? Because after 7 days, it's going to expire and it's free. You have nothing to lose. There's a free retake, just attempt. If you don't pass, you can just go ahead and refresh yourself with the contents and then try it again, right? So I might be offline for now. If you need me, just shout, I'll be here. It's on loudspeaker, so I'll get you. So I'll attend to people on site who are interested in doing that. Remember, it's optional, it's not compulsory. Just give it an attempt. I believe you benefit from it. All right. Okay, so thank you once more, Moria and Dari, for being available to take the sessions. And then we're going to get the recordings after now, including the slide content, everyone. So I'll be attending to people on site now, but the call is still on. If you need me, just call my name and I'll come back. Let me share the link to Metrics again in case you want to try. Even if you don't want to do this on the call, you want to try later on. So the details of the exam is Rovo Fundamentals. It's already on the event details page for this event. So let me share the link to Metrics. So if you want to set up your profile now, if you've not set it up, you can follow that. Right? Yeah. So if you are taking the exam, you can take it right away and maybe you reach out to me with your result, your score. I would love to know for the sake of reporting, right? So if you don't hear from me again, then it's goodbye for you online, but the call is still on for now. So officially I'm done with you guys online. So if you want to drop now or you want to write your exam, you can get help with setting up and then you take it afterwards, right? And feed us back with the details. So I'll continue with the guys who are on site to set up and then of course, for Party the Love, you guys can enjoy the virtual Party the Love. You can grab as much food as you can eat wherever you are. Thank you everyone for joining. All right, guys. So I have 3 vouchers to give out. So, but I want somebody when I'm going to give that voucher out. You have to show me evidence that you tried this exam and you passed, right? So I have 3 vouchers to give. So the first 3 people or first 4 people. So I think I can pick 2 on site and 2 online, or it depends on who comes. But even for the one guest now, I can still get request for one for you. So if you want to try the exam, try it and show me evidence, and I can give you the voucher to take the other exams, either state exams or the professional exams. All right, so that will be it from me. Thank you, guys.